Greetings, humanity. Welcome once again to Channel Otherdoc. I'm Jim, I use he, him pronouns, and this is our short campaign Void's End, a spacefaring neo-noir tale using an amalgam of a few different tabletop game systems. We're using Dirty Secrets by Seth Ben-Ezra for the structure of our investigation. We used Jason Morningstar's Durance to help create our location, and when we get into conflicts, you'll be seeing some bits we're borrowing from In a Wicked Age by Vincent Baker for our online format. We're going to go around and say hi to everyone, find out who they are, and I'm going to ask everyone if they have a favorite piece of music that predates them, that was released before they came into the world. Since older style music came up last time, I thought I'd ask that one going around. It doesn't have to be a favorite piece of music. It can be just one you like, or just one you don't hate, as per the usual rules. So let's go around, starting with Alyssa. Hello.
Hello, it is I, your friendly internet spinner of yarns and teller of tall tales. You can find me in chat and elsewhere at Shawl Tales, and I'm gonna go a little bit thematic with this one, given that we have an underwater city. And there's also an underwater city in one of the BioShock video games. And in one of said BioShock video games, there is a piece by Edith Piaf, La Vie en Rose.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good one. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. All right, let's go on to Lloyd. Hello.
I'm next. Hi everyone, it's me. It's your boy, Lloyd. Hi everybody, I'm just a person, don't mind me at all, drug dwarf in the dream. And my song that I like to pick is Why Don't You Do Right? First created by Kansas Joe McCoy, made popular by Peggy Lee, and immortalized by Jessica Rabbit in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Y'all know the one. Y'all know the one.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's very good. Awesome. All right, and now let's head over to Darcy. Hello.
Hi, Darcy, writer, cosplayer, currently on break while I can try and finish university. I think my favorite piece of music, or like a theme of music, will probably just be disco, because it's just so far away from where I was born, but it's something that just resonates with me. I love just kicking it on, vibing. Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive, that will forever be my anthem. That is. And yes, I could disco.
Nice. And finally, over to our investigator, Casa. Hello.
Hi, I'm Casa, Wilding _ on Twitter, and all my music that I like predates me, because I took my dad's taste of music. But anything Sam Cooke, or recently I've been listening to Cry Me a River by Julie London, I think her name is. Yeah. Anything like that, I like.
Nice. So let's see. For myself, I think I could just be on the safe side and say Shostakovich, because he died like a month after I was born. So most of the things that he wrote will technically fall into that. I also, if we want to get close to when I was born, there was actually a David Bowie released Life on Mars in 1971. That was a few years before I was born, and that one has for some reason over the last decade resonated with me. Years, yes, there's groups of months.
Several weeks.
Yes,
at least 2 days. At least.
I'm going closer to the middle of the 70s, actually, as it turns out. But these things happen. Yes, that being the case. So as a reminder, like we do with the other games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, hold up a card, make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat and we'll fade to black on it, or we'll put it behind a veil so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, then we can put an O in the chat to let us know that we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think, maybe that might have been a little too much, then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anyone needs. As a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game may contain player versus player roleplay and discussions of noir tropes, murder, theft, blackmail, organ harvesting, law enforcement, colonialism, and survival in a hostile environment. Anytime you want to see that, you can type in the chat !VECW, and that'll list the content warnings for Void's End. That's also going to be on rotation, so it'll pop up occasionally. Also, please remember that we have an open door policy, which means that any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It is just a game, and mental health is always more important. So, let's see. So the last time I facilitated Dirty Secrets, I made our detective do like a noir intro thing. I'm not going to make you do that this time to remind us what happened last time. But I think last time, as I recall, we got through the intro. And a couple of chapters. We had our detective Bliss landed. Our private investigator landed on New Kalima, or Nuko as it's called, in Glau Way Station. There were a few little bits of intrigue coming up. Apparently something has been stolen, probably a tape that has been stolen. I think that if I recall, the person who currently is a lot of people are thinking are liking for the theft is Echo, and Echo is apparently possibly going to be receiving it in a couple of days from someone, maybe, probably, possibly, some contact or other. We don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how it goes. Bliss has been on planet investigating. She went in and had a little bit of an argument with one of the guards, Sergeant Lynn, who was sort of checking her in, and then she went over to see Echo in her apartment, and they chatted. And Bliss noticed there was one album that was sitting there out of place, looked out of place, and its song on that single talked about a herd of cattle being driven across the sky to hell. And oddly enough, the person who is from whom this tape has been stolen goes by the name of Bull. I don't know if there's a connection there or not, but perhaps there is. We'll find out. So, we are going to be opening up with our next chapter. The Authority, a position that shifts from person to person, is going to be Alyssa for this chapter. Let me go ahead and have the book open here. So once again, as these things go, Casa is going to propose a scene for her investigator character, and then Alyssa can then block that if she so chooses with a different scene, either an investigation sequence or a violence sequence, and that's kind of how we go. So, I guess we'll just take it away.
Yep. So I think the next stop is obviously the Beehive, the club that Echo works in. And just a little tidbit. I think Bliss smokes, Bliss drinks. So she, if that's okay, is that something that's okay with on the show?
She
May
is
I?
a private investigator in a noir setting, so that tracks.
Actually, I kind of have a problem with it, but not for the case that I brought up. In a world where oxygen is valued, wouldn't smoking be seen as decadence?
Perhaps.
I guess also, yeah, how would you smoke in like a dome?
Maybe she vapes then.
Vaping makes way more sense.
I mean, drinking for sure. And
Ooh,
I mean,
guess
get
that-
wasted
I guess-
all you want.
Yeah, I guess there could be like
Yeah,
other
yeah,
kinds
vape.
of maybe
for sure.
substances, let's say, altering substances rather
Yeah.
than
But
We
like
did talk
lung
about
stuff,
oxygen bars.
yeah, oxygen bars exist. 'Cause that's the only reason I was like, oh, hold on, should we think
Yeah.
about it? So like, things involving lungs should be sacred and left to like the really rich.
Yeah.
Like, someone is loaded when they can afford to smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be quite
That's
clever.
that's just in my head or how that worked. That's the only reason I
Oh,
wanted
yeah.
to bring it up. We can go past it if we need to.
No, I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's
Oh.
true.
Yeah, I think things like maybe so the best you can do is like if you have something that's like vaping or a maybe even slightly less than that. It's like you have a thing that's like an
Yeah.
electronic cigarette, but doesn't actually produce much of anything. It's more it can create the illusion of smoke, but that'd be about it probably. But that too
Well,
would probably be expensive.
Also, it shows that you're off-world because people who live here
Yeah.
don't see things like that lying
Yeah.
around like a casual
Definitely.
smoker.
Oh,
So
no.
people can use that to spot where you're from.
I keep imagining there's some places where they say if you want to smoke, you're gonna have to go outside. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
When you said that,
No,
sorry,
yeah,
I'm just imagining
just
a smoker
my-
in the rain. Just
Thoughts on it was she wouldn't have anything when she came in, so she would. My internet is so bad. Let me try and fix this.
Hmm?
Let me try and fix this.
Okay.
I believe.
having mild internet.
Oh. Yeah, maybe having trouble receiving us. Yeah. So we're seeing you just fine. Can you? Oh well.
Oh, there
And
we go.
now, yeah.
Rest in
Frozen
peace.
on,
Thanks, Virgin Media. Thanks.
Now's a good
frozen
time
on
for
an
me to test my
expression
microphone.
of consternation, which I think can be felt by many of us.
Switching to the cooler sounding mic. How do I sound now? Do I sound
Oh,
okay?
that does sound much cooler.
Okay, cool. Just checking.
Ooh,
I'm
very
using my cooler
saucy
voice.
indeed.
Hello there.
Hello.
What are you doing this weekend? Hi. Do you play Fortnite?
Nice. Let's see. Casa, can you hear us? Casa,
Oh,
I
no.
suspect cannot hear us, as she has vanished from the from the Zoom call. Let's make sure everything's okay.
Goodbye.
Oh.
Yeah. This
I'll get into my corner again.
is going to be. Yeah. Let me go ahead and let's see real quick. I'll go ahead and I'll switch to the other one for a moment whilst we're kvetching here. But if need be, we might go to break. Real quick, right after starting, we might take a quick break just because you just want to hope that you're doing okay. So I think that we'll need to sort of see how we want to when we obviously we can't proceed without the investigator, but we can just kind of see when she's going to be back. Before I do that, did anyone have any questions or clarifications they wanted with respect to the game, the rules, or anything like that?
What is I guess the order of narration, I guess, other than
It's
the
Alyssa.
investigator?
It's Alyssa, then back to me, right?
Yeah.
And then
I
you,
think so, right? Yeah.
and then Jim, and then Alyssa again.
Yeah.
Right,
Yep.
yeah. Sorry.
That is
Just
it
wanted to note
precisely.
down the order. Thank you. Lloyd,
no.
on top of the game.
Ah, no worries. No, but no, it's good to know. Yeah, that's essentially how it goes here. It looks like her internet's just cut out. Okay. Let's go ahead then, and I guess we will go to break real quick just to see if just to see how things are going. We might, I mean, you know, if worse comes to worse, we may have to kick this back to next week. But we'll see if we can figure out what's happening. So apologies, folks. We're just starting to get going, and then alas, sometimes you crash into the mountains. We'll see what happens. I'll be back at the very least in a moment, just to if it turns out. Okay, no, trying to reconnect. Okay, looks like that's going on. So an attempt is being
By the way,
made.
we're still moved around, so we might wanna do something with the windows. Oh, you moved us back. Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
You're
you're good.
Ah, look at that pro strat.
Yeah,
Instant
and that's my
button push.
that's my secondary overlay that I set up for my secondary instance that I set up for this for if someone accidentally drops out. So yeah,
You're
I've been
pro.
around the block. I
This
still don't
ain't
know where
my
the post
first
office is, but
tabletop.
I'll find it eventually. Let's see. All right. Actually, I will just do like a quick laser fine adjustment on it. That just because I can. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, the order is going to end up being. I will go ahead and just mention briefly whilst we're vamping here real quick before I try going to break. I will just mention that what was I going to mention? Yeah, so the overall structure of the game we're using, Dirty Secrets, I'll go ahead and put the link to that one in here. Wait, I am seeing something. Something is happening. Let's see if we can get. We back? Yes.
She's here. She's literally here.
I can mildly lip read, and I think she's saying sorry, but it's not working.
Yeah, however, she's not realized she's still
Still
muted.
Yeah, she's still muted.
So she's
I'm like seeing this partial lip reading.
You okay?
Yeah.
Yay!
I believe.
We've amped long enough. Excellent. Good.
Yeah. Woohoo.
Okay. No, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So you went ahead and you proposed a scene just a moment ago.
Yeah.
To go to the beehive, the lounge, to probably ask around and start finding things out.
Yeah.
Was there anything else that you wanted to add to your proposal before we kick it over to Alyssa to determine what her decision on that is, if she wants to block it or not?
Yeah, the only thing I was thinking of with the whole smoking thing was I wanted a way to ask about the underworld, like the underground type situation, like how I would get other things. But
I mean, cigarettes.
I guess I could also ask about vapes.
Yeah, cigarettes can also be like a type of contraband in some ways. It's like if people will know if you're smoking one, that says something. People
That's
should already
true.
know
So
who you
maybe
are
like
if they see you smoking one.
Yeah, or like a club, like a smoking club or something. Yeah,
Ooh.
oxygen club.
Yeah, that could be cool. What do you think, Alyssa?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Do you need? I mean, we can also decide this during the scene, but do you need any of us to come in playing people, or do you have things in mind that you want us to?
I imagine we'll probably run into the bull at some point, but we can kind of play it by ear.
Okay.
And the bartender.
Do we know who is going to be bull, or do we want to just sort of have it happen spontaneous? I'll take it on if folks want. It's away from my other rungs, but at the same time, I can't guarantee there won't be a
You know how to voice yet?
Hmm?
You've not had a voice yet. So it'd be a good idea for you to have it. You've not said it. You're not like spoken yet.
Oh yeah, that's true. I haven't been a character yet. So yeah, if folks want, I'll do it. I'll just figure out a thing for him. But yeah, sure. All right.
All right. So, Echo shows you how to get down to the lounge. And she probably sends you around to the front while she goes in the back way to get ready for work. You go in and I imagine it's like walking into, a big aquarium where you've got the like glass walls and such. And then part of the wall has like the waterfall coming in and trickling through a pool. Very, very moody and atmospheric and dramatic. Probably got the bar off to one side and the stage towards the back. There's probably, a dark corner, perhaps cordoned or curtained off, where, the VIPs sit.
Oh, what's it take to get a drink around here? What do you have on a recommendation? As I walk up to the bar.
Walk up to the bar.
I can grab the bartender if you need a bartender.
Go for it.
What's in the pub? No, what's up? Welcome to the Beehive. I can make you a oxy martini if you'd like.
Ooh,
always a staple.
That sounds interesting.
For a lovely lady like you, anytime.
Thank you. I'd love that.
No problem. What brings you down?
Oh, just a bit of business, a bit of pleasure.
Ooh. You're in the right place.
Yeah.
There you go, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Why is it called an oxy martini?
Because there's no oxygen in it. It's super hot and it burns out, and when you drink it, it leaves you short of breath. So you want gasping for more. So an oxy martini.
Little heads up would have been nice, but yeah, it tastes good.
It's a good way to welcome someone to Nuco, and especially the Beehive. Here for you for another drink. Just let me know. I gotta serve another bartender. I said, gotta serve another customer.
Thank you very much.
No probs.
So Bliss is just leaning against the bar, looking and everything. Are there people in there? How many people? Is it a lot of people, or what do you think?
It's probably somewhat early in the evening, so it's not super full yet, but you've got like a few regulars around the bar. There's probably some people maybe playing cards at tables or something like that. Some people starting to gather near the front of the stage, just getting ready for the show. Probably a few like busboys or cocktail waitresses going back and forth, checking on customers. Probably, the big burly security guard over toward the VIP section, making sure everyone minds their P's and Q's.
Bartender, do you have a name?
Yeah, Meeks.
Meeks?
I mean, sorry. If you give me your name, I'll give you mine.
My name's Bliss. Nice to meet you.
Meeks. Nice to meet you too. Welcome to the Beehive. What brings you here?
I'm actually writing a story, and
Ooh.
Nuko seemed like such an interesting place. Lots of stuff happening, especially what I heard on the news recently. Do you know anything about that?
Look, I'm just a bartender. I'm just paid to look here and look great. If you want those kind of things, you'd have to ask someone that's in charge. My whole job is just to serve drinks, make enough money, and step up in life.
I'm sure you hear things along the way. And there could be money in it for you as well.
Wait, did you say money?
I'm writing a story. There's bound to be. There's investments in it, publications.
My status doesn't let me go anywhere past what I need to do. But maybe if you give me a bit of money, I can tell you who you should message around here to find out who's important. You know what I mean?
I like that, Meeks. Thank you very much.
Why don't you leave a good tip, and I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. I don't know what currency they have, but I'll just put some space dollars on the table.
Space bucks.
Space bucks.
Global, and there's universal space bucks.
Space bucks.
Alyssa, I am making stuff up. Please help me. I mean, I can keep going and make up a whole bunch of characters, but you're in charge, and I don't want to just overstep my boundary.
Go for it.
All right. Okay, look, if you're here for a story, there are 3 people you need to speak to. Over there, that's Cash. They're called Cash because when they first arrived on the planet, they tried to pay things with physical money. No one does that anymore. Who does that with physical? It's crazy stuff. But they're very much in the know-how and everything else. And someone says they're in line to speak directly to Bull. Over there, at the very back, looking like they're drinking a bit too much, is Artie. Artie is a bit of a what's the phrase I'm looking for? A snitch.
Ooh, okay.
So they're in contact with the local force people and they keep themselves involved. And way on the corner, right back there, just ignoring everyone else and just trying to live their best life with their drinks and hoping that all those men will surround them and make love to them at some point. It's Complex, and they are exactly as their name says. Try to avoid that one. Personally, Cash and Arthur, your best bets. Do Complex if you want the juicy gossip.
Okay. But I mean, you. How long have you worked here?
About 3 months.
3 months. Okay, so you're quite new. Right?
I used to work on the Harvesters a while back, but apparently the boss likes my smile.
You have a lovely smile. I can see why.
Well, I mean, you say that, but you haven't really shown it. Like, do you want to give me a tip for that much? I mean, I'm gonna tip about that much for smiles. At least this much money. Just give me this many space bucks for this smile. It's worth it.
Yeah, I'll like rummage in my wallet and I'll grab a bunch of other space bucks and just put it on. Thank you very much.
No problem. If you ever need a drink, just call for Meeks. I'll be right here.
Yeah, for sure. This is great, this drink. Thanks.
Thank you. Oxy Martini. I'm the only one that makes them.
Mm-hmm. Did you come up with it?
No. But I stole it. It's just as good, right?
Probably even better. All right. So, yeah, Bliss will kind of look around, look at Cash, and go up to Cash.
I'm out. You don't know everybody.
Did you say Cash or Artie?
Cash.
Cash. Okay.
Safe
That was
bet
the one.
first.
He's the one with the money, right?
Yeah, Darcy, you want to go for Artie, not Cash?
I could try.
We could ask Alyssa. We can ask Giga. What's going on? We can ask some Bliss to switch characters if you want, and be like, we want to play Cash instead, Artie instead. But like,
I kind of thought Artie would be funny just to play.
Artie. Let's play Artie then. The snitch.
Right? So I guess like you said, Artie the snitch is kind of like in the corner, almost like center of the party. People around him's drinking, you know, everyone's getting a little bit tipsy. There's bottles on the table, that kind of thing. And I guess he's just sitting there in the middle, just kind of vibing with what's going on.
Yeah, okay, no, before I go over to Artie then, I'm gonna ask Meeks for another Oxy Martini.
No
I'll
problem.
slip some more. Thank you very much. I'll have both of my drinks, and I'll say, Artie, right? Artie, here, have a drink on me. Looks like you need one.
So I guess I just kind of vibe in and he looks to you and he goes, my favorite kind of offering, a drink. And then he clumsily just like grabs it from your hand and then turns around and just says, to the newcomer, and then everyone kind of like their kind of little entourage just goes, hey!
Oh, yeah. Artie, do you come? It seems like you're regular here. You've been here for a while.
As regular as the sky is toxic, and then I'm gonna go, hey, and everyone just goes, hey!
Pretty toxic. Pretty toxic. You know what's going on around with everyone? When I came in, everyone was so tense. I thought it was a fun little island, but a little
I think
planet.
Artie's just gonna hush down, and then Pui goes, you wanna know what's going on? You really wanna know what's going on?
Yeah.
He goes, Pui closer. There's not enough drinks in here.
Yeah, that's also true. That's very true. I can tell you maybe a bit too drunk to answer, to have a conversation, or would you be more loose-lipped if I got you another drink?
Kind of stumble closer to you and goes, you want a bit of private time?
Yeah.
Don't you worry. Everyone wants to party with Artie.
Party with Artie.
So I'm still holding the drink that you gave me, and I'm gonna be like, be right back, gang. Everyone's gonna go, way. And then I'm gonna kind of like, I guess you can tell by the gait of the walk as I like kind of put my arm around you, like almost slumped over. And then I'm gonna kind of guide you to like a side room. Now everyone knows a VIP has to have a party room. So just I guess past the wall, one of the walls of glass, there's like kind of a little carved into the rock where you've got a little door, like a little entrance. He kind of slams forward and kind of presses his palm against a little bar that's right next to it. Scanning his hand, the door lifts up, and inside you kind of see I guess it's what would be described as a bachelor's party room. You know, there's loads of red, loads of fluffy materials, loads of drink.
Yeah.
And as soon as you Artie kind of like, guide you in first, and as soon as you go in, he closes the door behind you, and instantly the drink that you passed him, he kind of just empties, immediately stands straight, and then he kind of like slaps himself up and goes, now what can I help you with?
Oh, okay. You're a pretty good actor. I'm actually writing a story about what's happening in Yuko, and I wanted to know if any of the locals knew what was going on.
I'm gonna like take a seat on like a kind of a stool near the bar that's seemingly not really stocked, and I'll lean against it and be like, writing a story to the best actor in Nuko. You're gonna have to try harder than that.
You got me. Okay. I've been asked to come. It's a bit hush-hush, all kind of on the down low. I'm working for someone, and they kind of want to know what's going on. And Bliss will kind of just, lean in a bit closer, and yeah, I would be very thankful for any information you could give me.
I'm kind of gonna give it a laugh, and I like kind of throw my head back and just say, you really should be more careful about what you say in the city. Everywhere has ears. I know that you've been looking out for your little songbird. What was it? Echo?
Oh, you know her? Oh, everyone does, right?
Who doesn't? Best set of lungs if they're her own. This side of the sea.
Yeah. Is that a problem?
Of course not. It's just expensive.
Ah, I see. Anything can be bought with money, I guess.
This is the city of status. You should quickly learn that.
Yeah, and I have none in the city at the moment, so you're already doing a big favor just talking to me, really. Why did you talk to me?
Let's just say we both have a vested interest in seeing how this little story ends.
Then you wouldn't help just, pushing me along in the right direction?
Artie's gonna kind of turn behind him, moving aside one of the bottles. There's kind of like a little vial of like tiny white crystals, and I'm just gonna toss it to Bliss. Give it a nice little catch. You're gonna need that for the next person who gives you any trouble. But you should be more careful about asking questions around here. The bull may be a victim of the crime, but who he works for is a far worse enemy to make.
That's some good advice. Thank you. I just don't know how. Yeah.
The thing that you're looking for, so the tape, obviously very the infamous piece of material that I don't think only a few people are in the know-how of this. I think Artie's just gonna give you the last piece part of the puzzle, which is you want to find one of those you want to find a tape player. You got to visit the old man upstairs. He takes care of antiques, junk, but he's off his rocker most of the time. Hand him those crystals, he'll fall right into your hands. And keep my little act between us, shall we?
Of course. I'll also act with you. Thank you for everything. What can I do to pay it back?
If you ever end up at the top, just remember me.
Of course. Who could forget? And then grabs the drink and cheers.
Oh, we both grab like a bottle off the side, give it a fake cheers, and head out. Both kind of stumbling, trying to look at like we're having a fun. We look towards the entourage. And with that, I'll turn back towards my entourage, give you a little wink, and head back to my party.
Wow. Okay. If Echo isn't performing anytime soon, then I'll probably go upstairs to McCarthy. Yeah.
Is that?
I wouldn't know who he is.
Is
antique deal.
Alyssa? Is that good with you? Do we want to keep going with that on this? Or? Okay.
Sounds like that's a wrap on that scene.
Okay. Cool. All right. Just want to ask something real quick.
Names down?
Alyssa, do you want to add Artie to the list of characters, or do you want to leave them all as a side person for right now?
It's a good question. What does everybody else think?
I feel Artie is important enough to be on the list because there's clearly a character that has their own agenda, but it's just made themselves known.
Okay. All right, I shall do that in a moment.
Okay.
What? I shall ask a couple. Let's see. What rung do we want to put them on? Citizens, or is there or are they in the underworld?
I feel underworld.
Which character? Sorry.
Artie.
Oh, Artie. I guess.
Party.
I guess he is. I an underworld character, and it's someone who parties in every circle. Has to be someone shifty, right?
Okay.
But I think that's the ploy. No one thinks he's shifty. They just think he's a drunk.
Mhm.
So, criminal rank
Good
and file?
disguise. Yeah.
Yeah, that seems fair.
Okay. All right.
We're gonna be building this list a lot. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm trying
Well,
to be fair.
I kept a couple of spaces open just in case, but yeah, that's just keep in mind he can be a suspect now, basically. So that's like
Why
the
does he
one
know
main purpose.
everything? Why?
Yeah,
Yeah. He knew everything.
He's a
he
sussy
knew a lot
barker.
of stuff.
He's a sussy buck.
Okay.
And no one gives something away for free. Like I gave him a drink,
Yeah.
and he gave me.
I guess he's an information broker, yeah.
Could be.
I would say he's a neutral third party in the struggles of this thing.
Right, but I mean, if he's in the
And
criminal,
he's
what
just
does he?
he kind of hedges his bets. He helps who he thinks is gonna
Yeah.
get ahead with information.
Yeah.
So yeah, like kind of like a
Info.
shadowy information broker.
Yeah.
May I change it a little bit more?
Please do. A little
So
spice.
the idea of like someone who parties hard but knows enough to have been there specifically so Echo would meet them and probably set their plans seems to be more like someone who is a kingmaker character. So we have a character who is like, I don't what's called I want the power to change the status quo when I see fit. Like they
Yeah,
feel like
exactly,
they really
yeah.
own the world and they can just switch whenever they want to. They make the city what it's supposed to be according to them. That's what it feels like.
I'd say a fixer. You know,
Like
that's
a fixer,
the kind
yeah.
of you
Fixer's
know
good.
someone who basically I think a fix is the best kind of thing. That's kind of what I was going for him. You know, kind of that shadowy guy who likes sitting at the top, but doesn't
Yeah.
like the target that's necessarily painted on top
Yes,
of you.
yes.
Yeah.
It is
That
the
sounds
one.
good to me.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and do our scene ending stuff then. So this means that once again, Cassie, you get to. There was no conflict that scene, so you get to move the pawn one, and you're going one down, and you get to add another name in that square.
I think the name is gonna be Artie, right?
Haha! It's suspicion.
Artie, bring in the party.
Oh dear God. Well, this goes on much longer. I know who the victim of the murder is going to be. All right.
It's you.
Don't you love to, Mark?
although that's a good question. I mean, you know, it's like you want to be careful because you drop that body, then they'll keep talking about him. So you have to figure it out. Anyway.
Becomes a martyr for the cause.
Oh dear God.
Oh, God. Right.
Okay. So you get to do that there, and then the gavel passes to Lloyd,
All right.
and we get to do our scene proposal and all that. So, Casa, what you got?
Yeah, so up at the antique dealers, I guess. I feel like I'm going very streamlined, so if anyone
I
has-
forgot just to double check because is Jim? Are you playing McCarthy?
Yes, I am.
Because I did unintentionally allude that he's got a mild substance problem. Is
We're fine.
that a change or mild?
No, I got you. No, I think it'll be. Yeah, I think it'll be good. I think that there are probably all manner of rumors about him that may or may not be the case.
True.
So it's I think no, I like what I've been given here.
All right. So you're going. So before I go into what are you hoping to get by going to McCarthy's?
To see if he has a tape player.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, and then maybe I could buy it, so I could then play the tape or something. I don't know. Or I mean, I don't know. Well, I feel like whatever's on the tape could say the. But I want to know what was on the tape. I don't know.
Cross that bridge, we'll come to it. I'll let McCarthy figure it out. Okay.
Okay. So you're good with that, Lloyd? With that being the scene?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring you in ish, kind of. You just look, just vibe with me, bro. Just vibe with me.
Yeah.
All right, we have a shot of the tunnels that run underneath the. Oh, hold on. Did we say that the antiques dealer was located near the beehive? We did. Did we say that?
He's like up in the city, you know,
All
like
right, cool.
above ground.
All right, cool. So the elevator going up the what's called the tallest tower, because an elevator, because it has to be, goes up. We have a shot of like the lights just moving on and flashing over and over as it goes higher and higher from you. The camera pans out so you can see the tallest tower. It goes higher and higher until it reaches the floor, and then it goes ping. You step out to corridors of what would have normally been fantastical, beautiful apartments lined up on the left and right of the tallest tower, but now have been occupied by people selling their business and trying to keep themselves going off, becoming essentially office space for what it matters. As we get closer to further on, the structure of the building starts to look a bit more decayed, a bit more worn out. There's more broke ass part of the tallest tower until we come up to essentially what looks, for all intents and purposes, like a wooden door with a glass frame at the very top. What the very top, written in gold letters, is McCarthy Antiques Dealer. When you touch the handle, you can feel the cold level of metal, and you realize that the door is in fact metal. It's just been painted to look like wood, and in fact there is a small little hologram that glints upon the McCarthy button that basically makes it look almost like it's gold, but it's not. It's not even really there. It can be moved and changed by name anytime you want. Opening the door gives a ding 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 on a bell up at the top as you're going through, and the music wafts in from what looks, for all intents and purposes, like an antique vinyl player playing up on the side. And vinyl plays this sound music coming back, which is coincidentally Why Don't You Do Right by Peggy Lee, not by Jessica Rabbit this time, because McCarthy might be cool, but he's not that cool. You come into an office where lined up on one side are all these small miniature communication devices that you recognize from antiques things as like iPhones, and on the very far right there are these like larger versions that seem to be screens, but CRT, and some of them are broken, and like odd keyboards that aren't holographic, so you have to actually physically type it with letters that don't really make any sense to you, probably from an alphabet lost long ago. A table, a desk is lined up on the front, and beneath the desk, working with like glasses on and like a little tool over, trying to get the last pieces of a switch to finally like give life to play video games on it, is McCarthy. And that's the scene you come in as you walk into the room.
Mm-hmm. Hi, am I interrupting anything?
Wow. You'll just look up kind of suddenly, and sort of look at you through these through these this eyepiece, one eye looking conspicuously larger than the other, and just sort of be like, sort of we'll lift it up. Yeah, depends what you're here for, doesn't it?
Yeah, I could just look around, but I feel like it would be faster to ask. So if you had the time, otherwise I can just look around.
Well, my time is certainly valuable, but let's hear a bit more, shall we?
Yeah, I've been into some old school music lately, and they're only on these strange little devices, and I don't know, but I wanted to get one of the things that played it, like it's got buttons on it and a gap to put in a tape player, cassette player.
I have a quick question for you out of character. Do you have any weapons on you right now?
Oh, maybe I should
oh yeah, we never established that.
Yeah, we never Same with
Are
like
you
currencies.
are you a space rifle?
Are you a
dual
space
Ooh,
laser
maybe like a
gun
small
kinda
little
girl?
one, like a tiny little one.
Little,
You want to
little,
allow your fists to do the talking.
Yeah, also my fists would be weapons, but maybe like a small little,
a little sidearm.
revolver. Yeah, like
A laser revolver.
laser revolver.
Actually, I love that concept.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That,
with like
you know,
six shots or something.
The 6 shots, and it charges the laser and it shoots a really powerful laser. I bet it's like a cartridge. You have to take it out and put it back in again.
Mm.
There's one like that in Destiny.
Yeah, that's what I was
Hey!
thinking of.
There we go, laughing at us, Darcy. Ah, dang.
He'll sort of look down again and is sort of at the thing that he's been examining. Sort of as he does, he'll say, "Well, I have a bit of a policy. I'm afraid I don't discuss business with those who are packing. If you wouldn't mind placing your heater in the basket over there, then we can perhaps get down to some sort of business."
Okay. This is only just for show, really. Liz puts it down.
Yes, yes, they're always very showy, especially when they're being shot at you. Over here,
Have
please.
you been shot at a lot? Are you McCarthy, by the way?
And as you step up to the desk, he looks up and smiles and he says, "Well, almost." He vanishes, and then from out of the next room comes someone who looks very similar.
Oh,
But
Wait, what?
he is
hologram.
Holographic
little bit-
shopkeeper.
he's a little younger, but it looks like it's the same face. And he has looks a little leaner. He has like a 5 o'clock shadow. He doesn't look as well put together as the guy at the desk was. He's wearing sort of just sort of a slightly more drab shirt and what have you. He sort of comes out the side and he says, "Well, you have to forgive me. One has to keep up appearances." And he'll extend his hand. "McCarthy."
Oh, nice to meet you. I'm Bliss.
Interesting. He says, interesting.
What's
Now let us hope that you can live up to it. So I see that you're new here. Or are you?
as new as they come, really? I have no idea what's going on.
Well, it's funny you should say that you have no idea what's going on, he says, and he sort of wanders over to an area where there are a few where he starts where he's kind of got some old records up on the up on a shelf and some other and some various. You can see that he's got a few like back there, and then there's like another section that he just came out of that looks like they've got like a bunch more records on. It's like probably vinyl on in boxes from the room he just came out of, and he'll sort of sit on the edge of the desk and say, "But so you someone who I would imagine is doing business. For that business, you require an audio playing device."
Yeah.
And it is funny, very funny, that at this particular time that is the thing that you require. And so you must understand my being just perhaps a little trepidatious at such a request. But I'm quite certain we can sort things out if things are appropriately brought together. First, I do need to ask, on whose behalf are you here?
There's a ding as you can hear the elevator on the very far side open. Someone's probably going and coming out. The usual, just background noise.
It's not enough for me to say that I'm here on my own behalf, is it?
I mean, you can say it, but I doubt that it's going to carry much validity, given current circumstances. I take it you do understand current circumstances, do you not?
The gist of it. But it seems all a little too convoluted. Do you know what's going on? I mean, I know, but
There are always a
really
great many
know.
things going on. Depends on what we're talking about
Exactly.
specifically, and it also depends, rather more specifically, on who it's going to get back to. One has to be careful in this line of work, you understand.
Of course.
There's sounds of footsteps kind of hurriedly moving around the corridors outside of you. Really strange.
Well,
He goes back, he picks up the thing that there was nothing that there was nothing that the hologram was working on. It was also a hologram, but he reaches sort of into the desk and he picks up something similar looking
Yeah.
that he's sort of assembling pieces of things together while you're talking.
yeah, well, I just don't know who I can trust, I guess. It seems a bit too complicated. I just want to know if you've seen one, or if you've made one, or if you've sold one of what I'm asking about. I don't really need it.
I see. Well, let's start by taking a look at our different brands available, and we'll see if there's something that strikes your fancy, shall we?
That'd be wonderful.
Very good. He sort of shoves whatever it is that he's working on into a pocket on the inside of his vest, and he will head over to take you to a sort of an area where there are a number of different types of recording devices that look like these sort of old. There's a there's a thing that can actually make wax cylinders, and then there's a thing that there are a few different tape players. A couple of bigger cassette tape players and then smaller cassette tape players. There's an 8-track player. Also there's only one because there's only ever one. Near an area where there's like a laser disc burner, CD drive, and he says, and he just sort of gestures at these different things. He says, any of them of particular interest to you?
Yeah, I'll just kind of skim over everything and maybe reach towards like a smaller looking one, see what his reaction is. I just pick it from
There seems to be shouting coming from outside. Probably not concerning you, though. The other shops are probably having a bit of a rustle. Nothing to worry about.
Sort of.
So
Yeah.
you have a lot
Well,
of
if you don't want me to worry about it, I won't. Sorry. Go
That's what she
ahead.
tells you.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a button he might try to get to at some point, possibly, but one never knows. Anyway.
Essentially, I'm setting up the ending of the scene. I just want to make sure you
sure.
finish what you're doing before I
Oh,
get to it.
yeah. No. Feel free. Yeah, sorry.
How much would this one be?
Is that one that would fit the sort of tape that you think you're looking for? Specifically, I just sort of
That's
need
true.
to ask.
I don't even know what type of tape it is. Yeah, like the most generic looking tape recorder.
He looks at it and he
Did you
says,
say like it was like one of the mini cassette ones?
"Oh yeah,
I think
we've
that's
said
what
that,
Echo
but
said
that
last
hasn't been.
time.
But I don't know if
Yeah,
I don't know if Bliss
I
knows
would
that
know
yet.
that.
Okay.
I think for the interest of the scene, we do know what kind of tape it is. Because otherwise it would be like, what tape am I looking for?
Well-
Shit.
Well, this is a point where I think that I'm going to intimate that, if I may, that McCarthy actually knows what kind of tape she needs to, and so he's trying to sort of
So I'll
gauge.
wait for the wrong one.
Yeah.
And then-
So he's going to be like, "Tell me, you have." I think that, yeah. He's going to. The music sort of shifts over into like there's like Moonlight Serenade is playing, in the background, and he will Just kind of, as you're reaching for it, is like, so, I merely need to know, and this is important. Yeah. As you're reaching for it, you don't need to tell me what. I just merely need to know if I sell you one of my fine products. And he says, and he tries to wrangle himself so he's looking directly into your eyes. He says, do you have good intentions?
Someone of your stature probably wouldn't trust what anyone says, but I can tell you from the bottom of my heart that I'm only trying to do right by this planet, by yeah.
You'll nod slowly.
And then Bliss will kind of just take out the crystals that Artie gave her and kind of just put it in front of him and just say, but if this will help you not ask any more questions, then, or, give me more information, then.
Well, it was more the, I presume that Bliss was at least somewhat telling the truth there, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's going to nod slowly and says, well, of course we always appreciate tips. It was
Stop.
It's more you'll see him reaching for a different one.
And at this point, there is a massive bang upon the door. Bang, bang, bang. Open up by the name of Judge Advocate Mercy. Hey, Alyssa, you're in the scene. Just to help you out, Alyssa, the Judge Advocate Mercy has been brought in to confiscate the entirety of McCarthy's list on charges of theft, on heresy, advocacy, because the governor said so. Make some shit up. Go wild. Who cares? Go into it.
Can McCarthy really quick grab the device and shove it into Bliss's pocket?
Because they're still outside, right?
Would that be a conflict?
Well, not between us. It's entirely. If you say no, then it doesn't happen. Because I'm an NPC right now.
That's a good point.
It's only although it depends. It depends. If, however, it's a question between if Casa wants it to happen and you do not, then it could be a conflict.
I feel it should be a lot harder to get that tape, and I think this scene should
it's
have
not
ripped
really
it from her hands.
Well,
it's
the tape player, right? We only established it's the tape player.
The player, yeah. But
Maybe
I
I took
also
the wrong
don't want
one.
to take away the agency that comes with Casa.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what would work best, because I'm out of once again, what I'm putting down is what it feels like to the audience watching is that someone is guiding Casa exactly where she needs to be. Yeah. And I want to throw a wrench into that.
Oh, sure, no, absolutely. Well, we can do this. We can settle it as a conflict if you want to do that.
It depends, Casa. Would you like me to delay you getting the tape by a few scenes, or do you want to get it now?
Delay. I think Bliss would want to get it now, but I would like to.
Okay.
It took a bit longer.
So in that case, I think they are gonna bust in. Alyssa, if that's okay with you, is gonna bust in as Judge Advocate Mercy before you were able to grab it and place it in their hand. But at least she knows what type is supposed to be there. She knows what type is supposed to be there.
Yeah.
All right, go.
Ooh. Ooh. Does this happen often?
Items on the counter. Keep your hands where I can see them.
Yeah.
But of course. And he has already, it seems as though the bag that you tried to hand him has vanished for some reason. If that's all right, because sleight of hand. But he will he'll be like, Judge Advocate, how good to see you this afternoon. Doing well? And he will just keep his hands up and just head over smiling to the counter.
As well as to be expected.
What's...
My apologies. I'm going to have to confiscate and inventory your collection by order of the governor.
Yeah, raises his eyebrows.
This doesn't seem
They've
like
got-
it's my business. Kind of just scoot around her, maybe. Yeah. What's the judge gonna do?
It's your business here.
Shopping? Oh, yeah? Is that not what people do in an antique shop?
Typically.
Yeah. Well,
May I have your name, miss?
it's Bliss.
Don't leave town.
Oh,
Oh,
not the day.
well. Why is that?
I may need to get a statement from you in the near future.
A statement for being in a shop? Shopping?
I'm afraid I'm not at liberty to discuss an ongoing investigation.
Mm-hmm. Right. Sounds serious. I should obviously get out of your way so you can continue.
You're free to go about your day.
Thank you very much. And Bliss kind of just slowly walks, and then maybe as she leaves, since McCarthy is distracted, maybe she'll see if there's anything around the shop that's nice, like a vape. And she walks
You
out.
know what? You were so nice to let me keep you with the tape. I'll let you pick up a vape on the way out.
Vape tape, good
Do
trade.
come again.
All right, and as you rush out of the way, we see you get up and put your hoodie up over your incredibly multicolored hair. And as you're stepping by, you see more people are rushing up and lining up behind with boxes to collect everything from McCarthy's shop. And that's the scene.
That was so good.
Nice. Awesome. All right. No, that's very cool. So yeah, you get to move the pawn again, and you
Yep,
didn't have a
yep.
conflict, so you only move it one square. You got to move it down since you can't move diagonally.
Yeah.
And put another name in there.
You can put the name anywhere, right?
In the square.
It has to be
Or
in the square
anywhere?
that you land
In the
on.
square.
Right
Oh,
now.
okay,
then.
gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's only when we hit a suspicion square.
Gotcha.
That then you get a second name you can put anywhere.
Oh yeah.
Man, we're a quarter of the way there.
Yeah.
Oh, also, Lloyd, should we go ahead and put Mercy on the board now, or are we keeping Mercy in the wings as a
Mercy should be on the board,
capital C
100%.
character? Okay.
I feel like that was a really good introduction to Mercy. So Mercy
Yeah.
should be on the board.
Yeah.
It was.
Sorry, Darcy, I
Put
couldn't find a way
Mercy.
to put you into the scene. I tried to have a scene for everyone. I couldn't do
No,
it.
no, no, it's that one was like a little one. That was a little teaser,
Good.
a wrench in the works.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you have given us the name. Ah, Mercy. You put Mercy's name in there. Okay.
Yeah.
I do find it interesting that Mercy seemed more suspicious than McCarthy in that scene. After everything that happened.
You see McCarthy,
I know.
that's just a kooky old man, but you see
Yeah.
a justice, you're like, that is sus. That is not trustworthy.
Side note, you put Mercy as a fixer. Oh, there we go. Okay. So
good.
while this
She
is
read-
happening,
she
I
read
feel.
Cop.
I mean, like, if you read cop, you're automatically gonna be suspicious. Just the way it is. I feel we should have a quick discussion of
Mhm.
what's happened so far,
Mm-hmm.
because, as I said before, it does feel like every single character, one,
It's helping
knows
me.
what Bliss is here for, and two,
Yeah.
is trying to lead her to it, which I feel we should
Yeah.
really emphasize and work on. And it's why I also threw that wrench in the works, a literal wrench.
Well, reminder that when who was it? The Sergeant Lynn stopped
Lynn, yes.
Bliss in the beginning. Bliss
Mhm.
kind of ran the mouth a bit and did say that we're here for Echo. They're here
That
to
is true.
They're here to
Yeah.
chill, and remember they were in an immigration's office. They have ears everywhere.
Everywhere.
Like
That
people are
is
here
true.
listening.
Which is also weird, right? Because I was like, yeah, Sergeant Lin knows who you are, and they probably suspect something. But Lin has the least amount of idea about the tape.
No,
compared to
Lin
everyone
is
else.
Lin was getting run in by his superior officer. We're playing the
was
like-
detective.
I'm not even like a main fish. I'm just here.
Small
Sucks.
fish.
He's trying to draw the strings together, but they're not matching up. Like Sergeant
So,
Lin's
yeah.
over here, like there's lizard people living beneath the city.
Poor Lin.
That's true.
Oh.
I will say that I wasn't necessarily trying that I don't think McCarthy was necessarily trying to lead her. He was trying to figure out if she could be trusted before he started down that road.
I totally got that from what
Yeah.
McCarthy was saying, but it was more about the fact that like any good noir show, everyone knows more than protagonist. And the protagonist is like, what am I even doing here? Why am I here? You also solve your own problems. I'm so tired.
He's like a puzzle and then running from like place to place trying to piece it all together.
Awesome.
I saw a good opportunity to put that in, so I thought I'd go for it.
Oh yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah, that was so good.
I think if we don't have a conflict in the next 3 rounds, I'm going to introduce a conflict, but I don't know how that works. Quick question: how do you kill off a character?
Well, you can't.
No.
If it's it's very simple. You declare them dead.
That's it. Can I just do that? Can I just declare
Yeah.
a character dead in an NPC shot? Okay, cool. If no one dies by the time it comes back to me,
Someone's getting
like
shot.
someone is going to die. I'm sorry. I already prepared the scene in my head.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We
Wait,
can,
Ted,
and
you
obviously,
put your
and obviously, we'll talk about it. We'll see if it's like, oh, is it okay if I kill, if I kill off, that kind of thing.
Oh,
If
it'll
it's
be
someone else's
okay.
Character.
It'll
But,
be okay.
But yeah, no, that's perfectly fine.
As we have established, the only person it's not okay to kill is Bliss.
That is true. Awesome.
The rest of us
Okay,
are just
so
shaking.
do we want to do one more scene before we go to break, or did we want to go to break now? I can go either way.
We've had what, 2 scenes or 1 scene?
We've had like 2 scenes.
Then yeah, let's take a break and do 2 more scenes after that, and then that'll be our day over, right?
Possibly. Yeah, depends on how fast they go. Yeah, but does that sound good? We want to go ahead and go break.
I'm fine to take a break now.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna go ahead and take a quick break before we go into our next scene. When we go to our next scene, Darcy will be the authority, and I actually have an interview that I'm gonna go ahead and play. I've managed to sit down and talk to Kimmy, who is running the Happy Jacks RPG network, and so we're going to see one of those conversations that we
Speak
had.
to Kimmy? I never get to speak to Kimmy. I've never spoken to Kimmy in years.
Haven't you? That's Lloyd. It's been so long. We need to. That needs to happen. All right.
know,
Very
right?
cool.
You have the internet.
That's true.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
That's how I got to talk to her. Anyway. But if you want to see that interview, we'll be back shortly. See you in a bit. Welcome to the break. I am here with Kimmy from Happy Jacks RPG podcast. We're here to talk about that a bit. Hello, how's it going?
Hey, it's going well. I'm so glad to be here.
Yes, excellent. It has been forever. It's been many forevers.
So long.
And so, as of this recording, you have recently seized control of the Happy Jacks RPG podcast. And for folks who might not be familiar, tell us a little bit about this podcast that you do.
So the Happy Jacks RPG, it's now a network. We're not even just a podcast anymore. We now do streaming and stuff too. Started in 2009. We're like one of the old school legacy content creators in the RPG space. And we've basically been doing weekly or kind of weekly advice shows since then. And then since then, we've also built up to doing a bunch of actual plays, campaigns, and one-shots and things like that. We're mostly focused on non-D&D games. We do D&D sometimes, but mostly it's other games, and indie games is also a big thing. We have a bunch of indie creators and indie designers kind of in our group. It's not really cast pool, even though it kind of is, but we're mostly just friends. All of us met through various things. A lot of us met at Ren Fair, and I used to coach at a nerd gym. So a bunch of the players, like, we're all at the gym there. So we're basically a bunch of like wild, like diverse friends who just like playing games, and then we just happen to have the cameras there too.
Excellent. Yeah. So the first time that I heard about Happy Jack's RPG, it was only a podcast at that time back then. Yeah. Was I want to say like 2009, 2008,
it's
2009.
Like early, yeah. 2009 was our first year, so it was like season 1. I remember like you like being involved so long ago.
Only the tiniest bit. It was weird because I was doing a podcast at the time. I was doing the Great Debate, this thing where I just am being very silly, being my characters arguing with each other. And I got out of the blue, I get this email from Stu, and it has a bumper on it for my podcast. And I'm like, okay, I gotta check these people out. And I want to say, I think the first episode I ever listened to had you on it. The first episode I listened to beginning to end, where you were talking about a campaign. I think that you I think might have been running.
Maybe, yeah. Possibly. That was about the time as my first try at GMing was in there. So there's a lot of stories in there about that experience. It's like 13 years ago. That's wild.
It's like the only thing I remember, and this may be way off, I may be just reaching in and grabbing the wrong memory, because that happens to me sometimes, is like from that is like there was a character named, I think, Lanelony, and that was like, that's like all that I've got left.
That's actually really good. It's Nunelony.
Nunelony. Okay.
Yes. So, and that's a name that's inspired by Elvish that that was one of my original MMO characters.
Awesome.
Like forever ago, and she's kind of in a lot of stuff. I'm actually playing a D&D campaign with that name right now. So.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And
that's amazing though, because my DM can't remember her name, but you did from 13 years ago. That's amazing.
I don't know how it happened. It's because it's probably the first episode I listened to, and so it just sort of stuck.
Yeah.
But thank you also for giving me the right way to say it, because I'd had, for some reason I transposed the letters in there.
Yeah.
But nice, awesome. So how did you first get involved in this podcasting thing?
Well, my friend Stu started the Happy Jack's RPG podcast. We're really good friends. We performed together at the Southern California Renaissance Fair. So a bunch of us were in different bands that all performed on the same stage together. So we'd have like 3 or 4 shows a day. And between those shows, we just kind of sit around and hang out. And a lot of us ended up just sitting and talking about tabletop games. And at the time, we were 4E had just been released or was coming out soon. And so we were all kind of like excited about a new edition of D&D, and we were talking a lot about it. And we had a recording studio where we were all recording the albums for our bands anyway. So Stu was like, let's start talking about it in the recording studio, and we'll make a thing called a podcast. And I was like, what is a podcast? Because it was 2009, to be fair. Like, so we started doing that. And at first there was just like a couple of us, like 4 of us. And then over the years, like we've kind of built up. We started doing actual plays. Then I really got interested in trying to have us do streaming stuff. So I kind of took over the reins of like scheduling and a lot of the video content. And then slowly but surely, I've just sort of been like taking more and more management stuff on my plate. I thought it was because I was so good at it. And Stu was like, oh yeah, no, you just do it better. But it's really been like Stu burning out over the last like few years. So like, I mean, to be fair, like 13 years is a long time to do a thing. So like I just got more and more like kind of like the manager of everything. So I've been the first mate, as it were, running the ship for the captain. And so he finally was just like, okay, my kids are in high school, they're leaving the nest in a couple of years. I want to spend time with them instead of like doing a podcast every week. So do you want to take it over? And I was like, yes, please, I'll do that. So it's just like a slow accumulation of power.
Yeah. No, but that's great though. No, and I mean, it's very clear, even I think as a listener, that just that you were progressively doing such a good chunk of the work, more and more as things go on, and it's I just from my own observations on hearing it now and hearing it then, its quality is being kept up. For the whole thing, I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased with it.
Excellent. I'm very excited. We're actually tomorrow will be our first show with like a totally new setup. Like we moved the studio over here, and then I tried some other microphones, and they worked okay, but not great. I'm very, very excited about tomorrow. Tomorrow will be like the real proof of like the excellent quality that can be attained with all the soundproofing I've done in a room. So we'll see. Fingers crossed.
Great. No, looking forward to it. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think one of the strengths of the show that you can see it now, and this is from now, and this is from even way back then, was the soliciting viewer and listener feedback emails that would come in. I always, for some reason, I myself, I ended up sending in audio snippets for some reason earlier on. It
was super popular in podcasts.
It was
a lot of people do it.
I think I was just too nervous to send in an email and have it read. I think that was the thing, and so I was like, "No, I'll just do it myself." And so that happened, and that was awesome. And that in some ways that in some ways possibly led me to appearing on the show twice. I've been on twice. There was like an 8-year gap between the times that I was on the show. So when I think about another 6 years, that'll be the next time. Anyway,
there you go.
It'll be when it'll be time again. Just so you're aware. No, but,
that's one of my favorite things about the show too, our Friday Advice show. And as we've built up over the years, and it's interesting since we were one of the first podcasts about tabletop RPGs, there are only a handful of us at the time. Like we have like a following from all over the world. So every week we're reading these topics and these emails and these questions and these stories from like New Zealand and the Netherlands and Japan and like all these cool places. So it's always really fun to see kind of the through lines of gamers, no matter where they are in the world. And it's one of the things that I think keeps the podcast interesting and why we still have so many people listening 13 years later. Like we've had some people drop off, but we've had people listening that whole time. And I think part of that is because of like, it's just really interesting to see what these people are having happen at their gaming table and seeing what questions that inspires, and then also just the stories they tell.
I want to say that one of the things that you moved into over the course of the of this thing is also actual plays.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was wondering just sort of what was it like transitioning over to that and expanding out into that type of material?
At first we were really nervous because we'd been giving advice about how to run and play games for like 7 years at that point. I mean, not 7 years. I guess it was like 5 years. And it was like, oh no, what if they think we're terrible and they never listen to our advice again? Like that was the first like panic. Yeah. So Stu and I like were planning and we're like trying, okay, we're gonna have Stork, he's really interesting. And like we're planning out that first group. So I actually wasn't even in the game to start. It was the L5R. Well, we did like a test, which was, oh man, I cringe thinking about what we did. We recorded it outside in Stu's backyard with his dogs running around. We ordered Chinese food in the middle of it and we're like eating it because that's how we were used to gaming. Like we didn't think about it. Like, and then we listened to, like we released it and stuff, and then we listened to it later. Like going back and listening to it now, it's still an amazing game. It has hilarious, amazing role playing in it. But then there's like the Chinese food like getting unwrapped and stuff, and you're just like, oh man, oh little baby AP producer, like you didn't know.
Yeah, and I mean back then also, I mean that was very much par for the course. It was a very fun campaign to listen to.
Yeah. Well, that was the one shot that was I don't remember. It was the LA Ghostbusters.
Oh yes, that one. Yes.
Yeah, I don't remember what system it was in now though. I think it might have been Savage Worlds or something.
I think it might have been Savage Worlds. That sounds right.
And then that we did it and we succeeded, and we were like, wow, we really need to take this inside away from the dogs, and we should not eat food. So, but we ended up still eating food at the next one. But we started then the L5R campaign, and that was the big first one that really like launched it, and that was kind of like the staple. And we've now done in that same world with that same family, we've done 3 major campaigns. So it's been fun.
Brilliant. So do you have anything exciting you want to talk about that you have ideas for, plans for the network's future?
Well, we are very excited. We just moved the new studio in the last month over to my house. Yay. And lucky for me, my partner is in the movie industry. So we've really put a bunch of planning and work into it, a lot of soundproofing, as I was saying. We've upped the microphone quality. We've had some trouble over the whenever you move a studio, you're going to have ghosts in your system, and you're just so we've been trying to troubleshoot. We've had a little bit of echo and stuff for the last few episodes. But season 30, episode 6 should be hopefully the first real clean, beautiful audio. And then we're doing a proof test this weekend. We're streaming our first one shot from the new studio with all the new cameras we put in, and all the new lighting and everything. We even got a new mini fridge. It's the joint's been classed up, man. It looks like an actual studio rather than a garage now. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm really excited about just starting up APs again in person. We haven't done that for so long because of the pandemic. So it's just great to see new space, looks really great, cameras better, sound quality better, and then in-person gaming again.
Awesome. That's excellent. So if folks want to find the Happy Jacks network and just all the stuff that you're doing, where should they go?
Go to happyjacks.org, and there's links there to everything. And we're on social media at happyjacksrpg, but if you go to happyjacks.org, everything's there. You can find everything.
Please go check these folks out. I have been a
community member.
Avid
You've been
listener,
part of our
community member, for a decade, for over a decade. I can assure you, it's great. Please go check it out. And thank you so much for coming and hanging out for a bit.
It's been a delight. I love it. Thanks.
I shall now throw things back to most likely myself doing something. I have no idea what I'm doing because it'll be in the future.
It's fantastic, though. It's great.
I'm sure it's awesome, whatever it is.
Amazing. I love it.
Thank you. Take care, folks. We'll see you all of a sudden. We have returned, and once again ready to start a new chapter here. And at this junction, we just take a look. I think we did everything we needed to at the end of the previous sequence. At the end of the chapter, I just want to make sure that I dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's. I think I did. Okay, good. So yeah, we now start a new chapter, and once again, the Darcy is the authority. So we can feel free once again to for Cassie to pitch a scene, and for Darcy to either shoot it down or accept it.
So, I feel like they'd be back in the bar. in the beehive. Maybe while Echo's singing, I don't know. What do I need to know?
I think just before that, I like a little transitional scene more than
That's true, yeah.
But
I'm thinking too big.
as you I guess you descend that long space into the ground for it's kind of the dome area, the main dome, where we've got your lay of the city basically, or this particular town or whatever. And again, you see that, everyone sees that gorgeous, that flashing as you walk down, the lights as they pass, you go down the elevator. And just as the doors open, you hear a wild commotion going on, like outside kind of the tower area, right outside. You run to go check it out, and lying face down in the ground, fallen from a great height, you notice the way that this corpse is dressed. It's rather familiar, and as you approach it, you see that that's McCarthy, just face down in the dirt.
Oh, that was fast.
I thought you might wait a bit.
I thought we would wait a few scenes before we did that. But
now?
He was so nice too. Now he's dead. Oh, yeah.
There's a whole commotion going around. You kind of see the authority figures in their strange little uniforms, kind of running towards the location, trying to secure what's happening, but walking away from everything that's taking place is actually the judge advocate Mercy. Instead of running towards all of this, she appears to get into a vehicle and drive straight away with two other guards and drive straight away from the scene unfolding.
She got down faster than I did. Yeah, no, let me, yeah. Oh, what's going on? Yeah, Bliss will go up to the crowd and, yeah, she'll look around and ask, this just happened. I just... Ooh.
Can I just make just quickly for the quick logical leap? I think the assumption is that the crowd was such that it took a while for you to get in and see who it was. So presumably then she came down fighting. And was... So presumably Mercy came down the elevator and came down after you. Not like right after you, right? But, there was enough time for her to get down, and then
so as
you see her skirting the edge of the crowd and just sort of walking away. I think if that...
That's it, with your investigative senses, as you're pushing through the crowd, you kind of, you hear the movement kind of, that edges away, hid behind, like it's just a building. You see that little road, and you turn, just as you're pushing through the crowd, you turn just over your shoulder, you just see her, two guards getting into a car. Well, I say a car, it's more of like a strange hovering bubble type of vehicle. Yeah. You jump in and it kind of just floats away.
I do have another question that unfortunately the realities of things do have to the tower we established, this was in the tallest tower, right? Which is outside the dome.
So Archie's not in the top, so what we're seeing is someone has breached those thick windows he's not at the top, but I'd say higher up, because he's an
I figured he was in the middle somewhere, in that middle section.
Yeah, in middle higher up, but not not over the dome, not at the top. He's not like I guess Lloyd called it the broadcast.
So I'm just wondering, are they seeing him out? Are they seeing him out? His body land outside the dome? Are they at the edge of the dome looking at it through the glass?
It's kind of like so he's on they're all, the crowd is there, press up, when you push through a crowd and they're all just staring, and his body's just face down, and we all know the toxic air, and the rainfall even as well. So it's gonna be a while till anyone can get to that body without the proper suit gear up.
And also, it means that the evidence is being cleared because his body is like messed up by
Exactly.
toxicness. In fact, technically, we don't see his face. We only see his clothes because his body melted by the time we get there, right?
Yeah.
All right, that makes sense.
But so you're thinking like back of the head and
Yeah.
just that kind of long jacket that he's wearing, kind of face
Uh-huh.
down, and that, as a caster, you recognize the figure as
The
McCarthy.
outfit.
It looks
Mhm.
to be McCarthy.
Might not be. No, yeah.
It's
Makes
McCarthy. He's dead. I'm killing
Yeah,
him.
probably.
He's
Who
dead.
knows?
Yeah, Cactus. What do you do? Go for it.
Yeah.
And Darcy, if you need people, let me know.
So I guess, but as Casa, or
Yeah.
Bliss, sorry, what is your first kind of thoughts of this situation that you're in?
That there was something off about Mercy, about the judge advocate. So yeah, I think it was good that I just kind of got out of there in time. I don't know. Am I? Would I ask people what's going on? I need a little help. I don't really know where to go.
No problem. I have a few things I can give you. So, when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to cases where people instantly die, there are 3 paths that a detective can take. Asking people on the spot is pointless
Mhm.
because they're crowded on the back. But what
They
you
don't
could
know,
do is 1, rush to the scene of the crime to inspect it before people move things around, and usually that lets you catch a glimpse of the killer on their way out. That's 1. It could have been trying to get mercy on the people. It could not have been. You don't know. And it also means you would see any leads that the dead body may have left you before going. The second thing you can do in a scene like this is catch the get to the body first to confirm it, which you can't do because the dome is there. But what you can do is try and figure out if there's any kind of like CCTV or something similar around the area. Because if you can get that footage, you can figure something out from there to work on. The last thing you can do when a dead body directly falls in front of you is to find someone to blame and push them until they tell you what you want to know. Those are the 3 like paths that a detective tends to take in noir movies when it comes out there. Go to the scene of crime, get the information from else, or bully someone using this body as evidence. You go to someone and go, this person is dead. What's going on? Tell me who it is. That kind of stuff. Take your time. There are no wrong answers because we're making this up as we go along, and we'll just flow with you.
And on that note, you also notice someone who seems far removed from the antics that are going on. Someone just hunched over kind of against the wall, and they're kind of just almost muttering, talking to themselves, like hunched over, like almost as if they're in an argument with themselves.
I think if Bliss saw that strange guy, she would go up and talk to him. But I do want to go back up to the antique shop and see what he left. Yeah. No, I'll definitely do so. I'll go over to him. You seem a bit distressed, like I am, like everyone is. What happened? Are you okay? Is everyone?
This is so nice.
Lloyd, you wanna jump
in?
on?
Who do you want me to jump in as?
Jump in as this
Lynn?
seemingly
Jumpy guy.
the guy, jumpy guy, lone wolf just crouched up against the corner.
Would you like me to take it as Lynn?
I mean, that could be kind of. I mean, I'm putting it in your hands right now.
All right. Screw it. Let's tie some loose ends if we can. So I'm gonna jump in as Lynn. Sergeant Lynn is sitting there and he's like shaking carefully, and he's holding what looks like a vial of something that he puts to his nose, and he sniffs and he tries to calm himself down desperately.
Sergeant Lynn, right?
I can't believe he's dead. I can't believe I let this happen.
You guys were close?
What? Wait, your Bliss. What are you doing here? He gets up and tries to start to walk away.
Wait. I'll grab her shoulder, her arm.
And she brushes over, goes, "Get off me!"
Oh, I'm just as distraught as you are. I was just at his shop. Do you know him?
Did you kill him? Did you see them?
No.
Did you see them do it?
When I was in there, Judge Advocate Mercy just came in, was confiscating everything, and then I left.
Advocate Mercy? Does she have anything to do with it?
Does she? Seems a bit odd that she was just there and now she's down here.
No, she's not connected. She's not on my strings. She can't be in there. Okay, well, what about, McCarthy had 3 vacations. He had a dinner at 4. He wouldn't be in vacations. And he starts like ranting about McCarthy's schedule, trying to timing up all the way through.
Lynn, do you want to go up and see what happened?
I'm not going anywhere with you.
Oh. Okay.
Just leave me alone. Something is wrong with you. You're the reason why all this is started. I knew it. It's connected to you and you being here. I don't know what you are or why you're here, but because of you, people are going to start dying. And I can see it. But no one believes me.
This happened before I came.
Wait. While Lynn is having this freak out, he backs himself into like an open street and he's ranting. Quicker than you can even reach out to try and stabilize him, someone completely shrouded in head to toe in cloth just runs at Lynn, grabbing the kind of like the bag pouch that he had around him, and just knifing him just right in the spleen, just straight up.
Whoa.
And
runs away.
And runs.
Oh yeah,
like
I'm
they
chasing
start
him.
sprinting.
I'm chasing him.
Yeah, go for
Alyssa, would you please take the role as my saucy assassin?
Okay.
Whoa, wait. Bliss kind of tries to catch up.
Do we want to go to a conflict here to try to catch the assassin, or is there a?
Yeah, first conflict.
Is that a conflict? Yeah.
It's a conflict. Let's go.
Okay. So I'm assuming this is, so we're starting this out as a regular conflict. It could turn into a violence conflict. We'll see how this goes. As we turn in our hymnals to the conflict rules that are in that special document that I have pinned in the Discord, the way this works is I've borrowed some because the last time we did Dirty Secrets on the stream. As I've done up until this point, it's always been a little tricky getting around the liar's dice thing when you are not in the same room together. So there are layers of things you have to try to do and sort of roll 20 like a Rubik's Cube until it does what you want it to. This is a little simpler. I borrowed some things from In a Wicked Age that kind of try to do the same thing with what they wanted with the scene, which is to have little slivers of things happening as you go. So. Sometimes, the way this works, we are declaring a conflict. So this is going to be a roll-off between Casa and Darcy. As always, the advisors are free to contribute narration and ideas to both sides as we go. And so first thing we do is we establish the goals. First thing we need to do is to state what goals we're pursuing. To make this clearer, we can even rewind a little bit if we need to the point where the character's actual conflict of interest began. This is usually obvious from the preceding narration of the story. You should make sure that everyone understands what the conflict is about before you actually begin. I'm presuming this is about catching the assassin, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2 is setting the violence die. So an advisor, one of us, and I'll go ahead and do it, rolls the public violence die, which stays on the table. So there's the little red die that everyone can see in the little violence square. I'm going to go ahead and right-click and roll it. So I go to multi-side, I click random side, and I'm getting it landed on a 6 again. Does everyone else having a?
I see a 6.
Say 6. Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. So, doing that. So each and this and it'll come to when we roll our form die. When you roll your form dice, you get to choose, and the macro will ask you if you want to roll your violence die with it or if you want to put it on the table. The investigator and the authority each have a primary and secondary form die. The default primary die is a D10, which can get reduced as we go down. The secondary die is always going to be a D6. First round. So, both players are going to roll their dice. Each player's roll result is going to be their highest die, with ties broken by their next highest die. You do not have any advantage dice right now. What you're each going to want to do is, if you have access to the macro, the conflict roll macro, do you both have it on your screens there?
Mine is not appearing.
Go up to the collections, near the upper right-hand corner. It's the second from the right icon, little lines, and you should be able to see under that. The first section is macros, and you should be able to put little check marks in there to be able to display it in your quick bar. Do you see that?
Yes, here it is. It just disappeared for a second. There we
no
go.
worries. You got it? Okay.
Yeah, I should be able to click it. Yeah.
Okay, so when you press conflict roll, it's going to ask you a series of questions. And so right now you don't have any advantage dice. You're each rolling with a D10 as your primary die. So your D10 is your primary die, no advantage dice, and you get to choose if you're going to roll your violence die or not, or if you're going to put the. So let me ask each of you: Do you want to roll your violence die or put it on the table?
So what does that do? Does that mean that we can
higher chance of
violent?
violence happening as a result of the end scene if there are any 6s in the final results? If that's which is it's gonna match the current, because the current violence die is a 6.
Do we only get one violence die?
You only get one violence die each.
Yeah.
That's all you're gonna need. Trust me.
I want to save mine.
Okay, you want to save yours? Okay, so you're going to be rolling it. Casa, do you want to put the violence die on the table, or do you want to save yours?
I just saw a murder in front of my eyes. I'll violence.
Okay, so you want to set it out? Okay. So what you can do is you can grab one of those 2 red dice that are just outside of the violence square, move it in, and then you're going to want to right-click on it. And
is this before I do the D10?
Yeah, this is before. Before you do your roll. Right-click on it. On the context menu, you'll see multi-sided. Hover over that, and select
Random.
Choose Side, and then it will give you a little slider. They give you a little They'll give you a little slider that lets you move it to where you want to move it. You want to move it to a 6 because you have to match what's there now, the public violence die. There you go. Okay, so this means any 6s in the final results, there will be violence. And at least 2 violence. Okay, so now you're each going to want to hit that macro, conflict roll. Darcy, you are rolling just a D10 and no advantage and a violence die. And Casa, you are rolling just your D10, no advantage, no violence die.
Wait, but if there was one violence die, does that mean that there will be violence already? So
we don't know that for sure. It depends on what the final result is in the final roll that you folks make. It's a little complicated, but we'll get it as we keep going.
In the macro, I don't roll it then, because I already rolled it.
In the macro you don't, because you've put it out on the table. There's gonna be, you're aiming for violence, basically.
Okay. Yeah, I am. Okay, submit.
So it'll ask you like 3 questions. And... Okay. Let's see. So the way we read this, and again, unfortunately, alas, I could not get it to do all of the math for us. So it's because of the way I'd had to combine these in the programming. Okay, so Cassie, you have a 5, because that's your highest die right now. And Darcy, you also need to roll. And when you roll, you're going to need to roll. It'll ask you if you want to roll a violence die, and you want to do that because you're holding on to it.
Not the advantage dice, sorry, the violence dice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so your roll.
No violence.
There's a 4 currently on your violence die. There is, and you might want to keep track of that just by even. You could, if you want, you can grab that other die and just pull it into your banked advantage area if you want to do that. If you want to keep track of it that way. It's already set to 4. That's Lloyd's.
Sorry. Our Roll20 bars were covering the
Sorry. But you have a 5. You have a 5 and a 5. So let's see. So Casa had a 5 and a 4. You have a 5 and a 5, which means that you do beat her. That's sort of how that works. Let me go through let me go through how these are in the rules so that folks understand why I mean this. So the higher roll stands. That player issues a challenge narrating their character's actions. Any narration done before the conflict ends shouldn't fully resolve the situation, but should represent escalating tension. So you get to narrate something, or if you want, have Alyssa narrate something that the assassin does that is trying to do, but it's not going to fully resolve the situation, but it's something where that we see happening right now.
Alyssa, if you would like to play my saucy assassin.
Okay. So I think the assassin is gonna sort of duck down one of these alleys off the promenade and knock over some merchant's cart on the way past. My cabbages!
Cabbages!
My cabbages!
Excellent.
Lloyd's tired of
Yeah,
it.
that's good. It's a
I'm
little.
fine. I can keep moving for longer.
Just make things a little more difficult for the tail.
Yeah, perfect. It's just a little slice of action like that is what these are. Okay,
Yeah.
so that means, Cassie, you pick up your dice and you roll again. So you're now rolling just the way you did just a moment ago, and so this is you can get to make your answer, and so we'll see how well you do. Right now, you're trying to beat a 5, which is hard to do.
6. Oh, it was at a 6.
Okay, you got a 10.
I got 10. Yeah.
Oh,
So that does. So let's look at the once again the way this is set up in the rules. Yeah, I mean this is pretty good. So you have rolled. So you re-rolled. Your roll is doubled the challenger's roll, which actually means that this is over in 1 round.
Oh, no.
oh my god.
Okay.
Because
Grab the cabbage, not
that
today.
you were a parkour expert.
so you win absolutely in the exchange end, and so the answering player will describe the character's answer as guided by the die results. So unless the only way to get around that, let me see here. Stand by. Yes. So what this means, before you narrate anything, so die type adjustment, the losing players, so Darcy, because you're the authority right now, your primary form die is reduced in type. So it's because this was the first round, then you're reducing your die type by 3 steps because you lost absolutely in the first round, unfortunately.
Wow.
So you go from a
You
D10
Mario
to a D4.
dying noise.
And the way that works, again, this is similar to adjusting that die. You just right-click on the symbol, the D10 symbol there in your banked advantage area. And it'll hit multi-sided and choose side.
God, some moth.
And you just move that down to a D4. I'll show folks what we're talking about real quick. Just so that everyone's in the wrong place.
I'm being attacked by a moth.
Oh no, that's not good. That's not good for you either.
I'm trying to click the dice and I've just been attacked.
Well, sometimes that happens when you're dealing with things like this. Yeah. So yeah, you shouldn't need to necessarily move it. You can if you want, but yeah, so you'll just.
So that was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's not right. Sorry. How do I change
no
it?
worries. So you right click on it.
Oh, there we go.
This is this little area we have down here.
And
and you right click on it on that D10 and it'll say multi-sided at the bottom of the context screen. You hover over that.
Do I move down
choose
3?
Side. And you grab hold of that lever and you move it to the left until it turns into a D4.
Oh my god!
There you go. There you go. Okay, yep, that's what we got happening right now.
This is what happens when you
that's roughly where we are at this point. Let me go ahead and actually wait. Let me go ahead and pull this back so you can.
At least this can be a warning to everyone else.
Yeah, I know, right?
Don't just kill off characters like that.
I mean,
Yeah,
this
you
happens.
two main characters in one scene.
So
it was a boss move.
Well, let's the next bit for this pushing. So the losing player may choose to push the conflict into one more round that follows the same rules as the third round, the final round, which we never got to, but we might here. First off, Darcy, do you want to push the conflict or do you want to leave it as is?
I think I want to kind of hear how this interaction happens. I think I will leave it here and see.
Okay.
I think because this is basically a win for Casa, so I'm thinking takedown, cabbage takedown.
Okay, all right. So the player who wins the conflict may narrate its outcome. If your opponent did not push, which is the case here, narrate how the winning character achieved their goal. Winning this narration gives you a lot of freedom. You have complete jurisdiction over all story elements for the duration of this narration. The only restriction is that you must narrate any violence that results from the conflict. There was no violence because remember we had 2 red dice, but none matching. We have two 6s and we have a 4. Casa rolled a 10 and a 2. So neither of those match the dice that you rolled, so we don't have any violence. You can describe as much property damage as you like, but we can't have this character getting hurt necessarily, or any. They're not even necessarily a character with a big C yet, so that's the funny part of this. Violence with a capital V can only be dealt with to actual characters with a capital C in this whole thing. And there are weird ways of having that happen if the person's not in the is not in the scene, but that's fine. So that's where we are. So Cassie, you get control of narration for the rest of this scene, and just sort of pretty much you can let us know what happens. The way that this works, incidentally, also just as a quick reminder, is that once you have hit a conflict, is that this bit of narration you'll have will end the exchange, and basically at the end of the conflict is also going to end end this chapter, basically. So what do you so what happens, Cassie? You get to tell us what happens.
Just quick question. If I throw something at them, is that violence?
You can throw something at them. They just aren't injured by it, is all. So you can.
So maybe
Also, this is not a character with a capital C yet, as far as we know. So you could have them go unconscious or something. That'd be fine. Unless we decide this is someone we know already.
Or is this someone you want to talk to? Because they're covered from head to toe. And I'm talking goggles as well.
The first thing I'd do, I'd ninja jump over the stuff that he or she threw in the way, and kind of just quickly run up and grab one of the cabbages and just roll it on the floor really far, and then they'll kind of trip over it. And then as I come closer, I'll take off, or I'll turn them over, rip off their goggles and their hood, and say, why did you do that? What? And I'll look at him, and do I recognize him? Do I not?
Alyssa, I'm giving you the creative control. Is this someone new?
Or is it like I can choose who it
I mean,
was?
you're the one that has the narrative control. So do you
That's-
recognize them, or is this?
That's the interesting part here. You can do that if you
yes.
like. You can also take suggestions, but it's up to you.
Okay, my suggestion would be it was one of the people that the bartender Meeks pointed out, not
that'd be
Artie,
cool.
or would it be too much to have it as Artie? I
Oh.
don't know. I don't think Artie would do that, but
Yeah, I don't. Artie's not a.
Yeah.
Well, there's
He's not
Cash.
a hands-on
Cash.
kind of man.
There's Cash,
Cash
and
and
Complex.
Complex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are interesting.
Complex
maybe
is
it was
complex.
Complex is complex. Maybe she was told to do it.
Or was
So,
Lynn
yeah.
right? Are there lizard people living underneath the sea?
It
We'll
could be
never
lizard
know.
people.
She was
Yeah.
the only one who knew. No, actually, under the mask is like just a lizard face.
Yes.
No.
Argonian? Question?
Vegeta's where?
Yeah.
Carry on. Go.
So it's you said it, Complex was a girl, right? A woman?
Yes.
Maybe, yeah. So if
She
I rip it
was.
off thinking that she's like, or that the assassin was like really strong, but then I see like it's just a scared looking woman. Like she's she's like a bit worried and a bit like or maybe but I wouldn't know if she was scared because
Who do we want to have play Complex, just so that might help a little bit?
I mean, how do we give it?
Alyssa, do you want to be
Yeah,
Complex?
Sure. I had to do it. I didn't have a choice.
But why Lynn? Why Sergeant Lynn? Who told you to?
I can't tell you.
If you don't tell me, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do a lot worse. Cracks my knuckles.
I'm sorry. It's just the way you said it was so sweet. If you don't tell me, I'm gonna do something worse.
These hands ready to eat for everyone.
These hands are gonna hurt you. Carry on, please.
Just do it then. Throw me outside. It can't get any worse than that.
Well, actually, maybe we could work together. Do you need money? Do you need safety? I could provide some if you just tell me what's going on. And Bliss will kind of like prop her up a little bit now. Like she's not really like on top of her.
They've
but
got
now
my
we're kind of
kid.
Oh,
Oh.
that's a start, but who's they? Okay, you don't have to tell me now. Just perhaps we can work something out. And then end scene? Or is there something more, Alyssa, you wanna say?
Do I know you can protect me?
I'm not from here, so I'm as far removed as anyone. I don't have many obligations except finding out what happened. So I'm like a trustworthy third party.
I don't care what happens to me, but if you get my kid off this station, I'll tell you anything you want to know.
It's great. Let's get a drink, get warm, tell me what your kid looks like. for starters. Otherwise, I don't really
but
know
not
how.
here, not
No.
in public. They can't see us together.
Let's find somewhere. Okay, I'll meet you somewhere. Do you know where Echo lives?
Everybody knows where Echo lives.
Oh, damn.
Okay, maybe that isn't the best place then.
I know a place. And she tells you kind of this hole in the wall where she doesn't think anybody will necessarily and like makes a plan to meet up with you later.
Yeah. I'm sorry about tripping you and yeah. Oh, you should probably drop that knife. Just,
You should
evidence.
get out of here.
Yeah, you too.
Maybe it's not too late.
Of course not.
You could call a medic.
Oh, that's also true. Thanks. I'll see you later. And then Bliss kind of turns around, starts running back to Sergeant Lynn.
Side note,
She
I
will
love you. Like, oh,
disappear.
you want a drink? Are you okay? And Lynn is like, excuse me, I'm dying. Hello?
No, I'm bleeding out over the floor.
I'm kind
You
of dying.
need to
over here.
roll
Like,
to
are
see
you
if you
okay?
survive.
Are
That's
you
a
okay? Do you want to talk about this? You're having a therapy session and I'm dying and I'm like, excuse me? Excuse me, why are you therapizing my killer?
Nice.
Having drinks with your killer. Well, I didn't like you to begin with. No,
That's
Oh,
no
no.
excuse.
I'm kidding.
You like that more than just murdered me.
Do I
That's
have-
your basis for a friendship.
Oh my god. So I have a are we at the end of the sequence then?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Oh shit, I sent that message to Jim by personal.
Oh yeah, no. Yes, you can feel free to repeat that there. There you go. All right. In our private messaging. So we have hit. So once again, we're at the end of the sequence. So basically, we go back to so couple of things that I just want to kind of get straight real quick. First off, do we know if we can just decide, is Lynn going to die in this scene, or is Lynn or do we think Lynn's just injured right now?
Or is it one of those things we don't know until the next episode?
That's possible.
I feel like
Lynn
I
is
would-
bleeding out as we speak, and we just hold her in.
I would have
limbo.
killed Lynn had that conversation not been like, oh, are you okay? Do you want comfort? Because I think it's way funnier if Lynn is like bleeding out but doesn't die, and it's like, why are you talking to my killer?
Yeah.
Because you're like really giving them therapy, and I'm like, I'm on the floor bleeding. Man. Can you like come help me? So I feel like Lynn won't die from that scene.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Based on
yeah.
what happened?
Yeah, I'm thinking if we're good with it, we'll leave it open for now before declaring Lynn dead. Do we want to put is McCarthy's death the murder? Is that that we want to put down as our official crime with a big C?
Yeah,
Can we do that?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, we can
Oh
absolutely
my
do
god. So, is there a storm happening for you guys? Because there is for me. So that was just lightning.
that. Oh no.
What?
Oh, so far so
Ooh.
good.
No
The
storm.
gods.
The floors aren't wet.
Was
Oh, the
a
floors
little
are
cloudy
not
here
wet.
for a minute, and now the sun has come out again.
Well,
It was really hot and sunny today as well. So that's the funny part. Like,
yeah, I'm more thinking of this. Unless this is a really big storm, it's probably just over in the UK. But I'm assuming.
Yeah, you guys just looking out the windows. Aw.
But okay, so we have McCarthy as the victim. So we have our second crime.
nice.
And
Things are getting juicy and entwined.
Yeah. I mean,
And-
that's how it goes, right? It starts off simple and then.
And then people get stabbed, and then
Yeah.
you have therapy.
People
Right,
got
and
hands in
stabbed.
other people's pies. You things going on.
so So the conflict. So this time, once again, when you figure out when we're doing at the end of a chapter, we're doing repercussions. There was violence, but there was only one. It didn't get pushed. There was only one round essentially, but there was only one bit of conflict with no pushes. And so this means you're still only going to be moving the pawn one space. Also, Casa, since you won the conflict, you get to move the pawn. If there's a conflict, whoever won the conflict gets to move the pawn at the end of there. So you get to pick from 2 different directions now, and whichever way you want to move the pawn one.
It's been moved.
Yeah.
Let me take a look.
I don't know how I'm gonna get that square. I'm trying to like fill it up, but not in like a.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget that when you hit a suspicion, you can fill any square.
Oh yeah, that's true. So I'll just keep going. Thank you.
All right.
I also wanted to add a little tidbit that like as I was chasing, I would reach from the gun and then be like, oh shoot. And
Yeah, that's right.
remembered
You
that
left
I
the gun
didn't
up
have
there
it.
in the McCarthy shop. You can go ahead and put a name in the
Oh yeah,
in there.
gotta do that.
You describe the ending scene.
Go
As
ahead and-
the camera pans over you guys just standing over McCarthy, just standing on the lid. And the camera just pans up to this dome under a toxic sky.
Yes.
That's a
Void's
good
End.
title. That's a good undertitle.
Under a toxic
Void's
sky.
End, Under a Toxic Sky.
That is a good title, yeah. You want to put? Do you want to put a name there in that box?
Name. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh, I can't put
Oh.
the same name, or can I put the same?
You can. You can put whatever name you want. As long as it's something that based on things you have. You can be reasonably be suspicious of.
Put McCarthy.
Some- McCarthy. But he's dead. So someone wanted to kill him, or he killed himself.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, if you want to make that possible.
Did he know too much?
Maybe.
Or did he just not know enough? Did he?
Like he wasn't useful anymore. So
Who knows?
yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, McCarthy. He might have done the theft, possibly. We don't know.
Yeah.
Or he might have killed himself. We don't know that either. We'll find out. Okay, cool. My other question is: do we want to make Complex a character with a capital C, or do we want to leave her as
I feel
a side player for
we
now?
should make her a character with capital C because she's been given that background.
Hmm.
Otherwise, Lynn's death would mean nothing.
Yeah. Oh, she's not dead yet. Oh,
Well,
maybe.
also here's another thing, though. Here's another thing. If Lynn dies from those wounds, we still can't make it a crime because we know how it happened.
That is also fair.
We know who did it.
Right in front
It
of
was,
me.
it was just an act of violence. It was-
Yeah.
Senseless violence.
But
for a
yeah,
good
no, we
cause,
can
for
we
a
can
good-
make Complex a character here if we want. That's perfectly fine.
Mhm.
So let's see. Complex is an assassin of some kind. That's probably not what Complex actually does for a living.
That's in question mark.
Yeah, oh yeah. Assassin question mark.
Assassin.
Well, she is assassin, but
That's
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Also, I don't know if this vibes you guys, but I thought it'd be funny. You know the little crystals?
Yeah.
Mhm.
If they're kind of substance called exo, because it's like oxygen in a
Yeah.
solid form infused with some other stuff.
I like
and that's
it,
why
I
you
like it, I
name
like
it.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Drugs
That
called
makes
Exo.
sense.
I'm assuming Complex is on the criminal rank and file.
Yes.
Yes.
That wrong? Okay. All right.
Definitely.
Cool.
Screw good people. They don't deserve to be here. Kill them all.
I just wanted to make sure we're good there. All right.
He should kill them all off.
I believe that makes that puts us at the end of the sequence. So that means that the gavel passes to me.
Can we break here for Lloyd?
You wanna go ahead and quit? Yeah.
I kind of do because
Can
I know this is gonna take longer than 20 minutes.
That's entirely possible. Yeah, we could wrap it up now if you're good with that.
Also, I feel like that was a great place to wrap up.
Yeah, a lot of stuff is happening.
All right, adjourned.
You got the gavel.
I remembered to grab it this time.
Now everyone else just has to have one.
I want a gavel. I don't have a gavel. I only have a mallet.
It's not.
Close enough.
Why do you even have that?
Close. pretty
Ask
close.
me questions about my personal tools. DIY and sorts.
No, there's no problem.
Mine's in the other room.
Well,
Everyone gets some sort of hammer.
You never know. So we had our first conflict, which I think is pretty cool. And we'll see how this we'll see kind of how we how things go as we progress. We'll have basically we'll just be keeping going on these until we make it to a point where there's where it's not possible to move again on the grid, and then might actually land on a name. We'll see how that might solve a crime. Okay. So, that being the case, we will go ahead then and get to our outros. We will pick up next time, and we will see what happens. I have thoughts about where we shall go next with this.
That's great.
But let's go ahead and go around and once again, you can tell folks where they can find you, any final thoughts you had about this session, any favorite bits. And we shall start once again with our investigator, Kassa.
Hi, I'm Kassa, Wilding _ on Twitter, and yeah, I'm just floating around and on the web, just having fun. And this was so fun. My favorite part was the stabbing. The stabbing was just like, whoa, I didn't think that was gonna happen. It shows that anything could happen in this game. So yeah.
A wild
and in
stabbing.
any game. Yeah, just woo. Yeah. Yeah, it was so fun. Thank you for this amazing day of the week that I get to look forward to.
Yay! Awesome. Did you tell folks where they can? Did you say where they can find you?
Yeah, Wilding _
Okay. Awesome. All right. And now over to Darcy.
Hey, I'm Darcy. You can find me at OG Hijabi Barbie on Instagram. Normally posting makeup and cosplay content on a break for now until maybe like a couple months time when school's over. This is also but one of my favorite times of the week. I love sitting down with these guys, crafting hysterical adventures and great stories. And I look forward to next week as well. We'll see. Will Lynn survive?
Who knows? No way to know until it happens. All right. Awesome. Yeah, no, that was delightful. All right, and now over to Lloyd.
Hi, I'm Lloyd. It's just me living my best life, doing the best I can, trying not to fall asleep the usual kind. I'm exhausted. I've had a great time, but it's about to hit midnight, and naturally my body is shutting down. So I'll see you all later.
Oof. Well, we don't want that, so let's. But no, totally understandable. Thank you so much though for coming out. It's been just a lot of fun seeing what the stuff you've been throwing in tonight. It's been great. It's been on fire. And finally over to Alyssa.
Hey everybody, thank you for watching, and thank you Jim for hosting, and thank you everyone for playing. This was a lot of fun. You can find me on the internet at Shawltales, and you can occasionally find me doing some cooperative gaming in the City of Heroes channel on Jim's Discord, and also I have a piece of short fiction that just got published in the Storytelling Collective's Flashbang Volume 3, pop a link in chat for that. So check it out if you are so inclined. Yeah, and back here next week for more of this. I'm excited. Things have escalated very quickly.
Yes, that is definitely a thing that happens. So very cool, very cool. I am very excited to see what happens next time. Also, the good thing I'm just thinking about this game is that it is a little bit scalable. You can kind of just sort of stop at the end of whatever chapter you want if you need to stop and keep going next time. So that's one of the beauties of this thing. But that leaves me. I'm Jim. Let me go ahead and link one more time these games for anyone who might be interested. Dirty Secrets is the game we're using for the main body of the main overall structure of this thing. We used Durance to come up with the planet and its various inhabitants. And the game that you just saw us simulate bits from was In a Wicked Age, and that was the just how we did the conflict. And actually, the conflict itself happened quite a bit faster than especially since it was done in one round. This one, but quite a bit faster than our they were going in regular Dirty Secrets thus far. So thus far, doing pretty well. We'll see how that holds up. We'll see next time. As for me, I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I've got links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and various other things. On Saturday nights, we have our Invisible Sun game, The Edge of Paradox. We just came back, and it's there was quite a bit of action in that one as well. There's one of the longtime villains finally put in an appearance, and there was much dashing around and panicking. It was delightful, and yet the players were triumphant. They actually managed to pull one over on them. So I'm going to be very curious to see how they handle things going forward. And of course, Wednesday nights we have more of this. Wednesday afternoons if you're in the US, so wanna very eager to be the authority in the next scene. That's all I'll say for now. But in the meantime, when we go to the end card, we're gonna go ahead and send a raid over to someone. I see that. Let's see, Dread Void Witch is about to start a stream, so we could go over there. Gnome End is streaming. Emmy with Love is streaming. It'll be one of those. We'll go ahead and say hi to one of those folks. Feel free to hang on if you are so inclined and say hi to them with us. That again will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time. Farewell.